All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic Worldwide Aftershow. We just finished watching episode 111, and what an episode it was. We're going to talk about that with Jeff Edwards here towards the latter half of the show, but we promised you an interview that was going to get a lot of attention, and it has. We have on the line with us right now none other than the one, the only, SIS. SIS, how are you doing tonight?
I am fantastic.
Okay, I gotta admit, the people are probably thinking this here. When I first called Sis here, and she, we went over a couple things here before the show, how the flow was gonna go. I immediately said, "It's weird hearing your normal voice saying more than 2 words."
Yeah, I know. A lot of people say that.
It's nice to hear it, quite honestly, because I've been saying for weeks, I've been championing you for weeks here on this after show, ever since we started doing it. They need to put a microphone in your hand or something, because you have so much personality. And when we do see you work and we do see you, talk, such as in your match with Ethan, you show so much personality. It's like, this is new for me. To see you like this, what has been the changes like? Has this been your choice to do this? Has it been a combination of you and the creative team at CWF to bring this personality out? Can you talk about that a little bit?
It's kind of been a little bit of both. I've wrestled for years now, and I've been kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just about time. It's been so many years, and my masks have changed so much. I think it's just about time to be able to talk, and that way people can get to know me a little bit more personality-wise and just connect with the character more.
I gotta say, you're absolutely right on that, and the women under masks, you look at Lucha Underground and what Sexy Star is doing and everybody like that. She had so much personality. She's been their champion, for crying out loud. So I definitely get the idea of it. And it's 100% true, because you bring forth, as your mask has changed, we're seeing a little bit more of your face. Your ring gear has changed too. I'm loving the new ring gear. We're seeing a little bit more you. And it's just not, okay, McAllister's bringing out a girl attached by a chain making hissing noises anymore. It's so refreshing to see. I have a couple questions here, standard interview questions, guys, and people are like, well, Joe, shouldn't you know all this? No, that's the point of an interview, is to find out, so bear with me here. Who trained you?
Sean Christian up in Shawsville, Virginia, near Christiansburg at BWC.
Camp. That would be Boogie's camp, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, describe a little bit about what's the timetable? How long have you actually been doing this? Like, when were you trained?
I started when I was 13.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm 21 now.
Jeez, how did that happen at 13?
I went to a wrestling show, just kind of traveling around with a local one down here where I live, and met Boogie, and then 2 weeks later I was wrestling. So,
what was I'm curious now, because I'm from that area. What was the name of that promotion that you saw and then decided after?
It was BWF, Bruiser Wrestling
Federation. Yes. I've been to many of their shows. Bruiser Graham, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love going to their shows, actually. In fact, one of the very first indie shows I can remember ever going to was BWF. Right there, I think it was. He travels all around. He's stationed in Appomattox primarily, I guess. I remember the very first main event was Beef and Billy Gibbs for the title.
Yep.
And I actually got to go backstage and interview some of the stars after that show. It was in Meharry, Virginia. So yeah, I know all about BWF. It's a pretty good little promotion. And Bruiser was trained by Boogie as well, wasn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and Boogie appears on a lot of their shows. In regards to the Sis gimmick, how did that come about? I got to know, because it's such an interesting character.
Well, it actually started kind of more Japanese themed, just because I think the Japanese kind of culture is very interesting. I'm not Japanese, but I'm very into the Japanese culture, and I have a karate background. I did karate for 10 years. I was a first degree black belt when I was 13 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it kind of just, me and Sean, the guy that trained me, we were just talking, and he was like, what do you think about a mask? And then we just started thinking about it, and a year later I had a mask, and then the gimmick just started evolving and turning into this amazing character.
So you had the gimmick way before CWF, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I want to ask a little bit more about the gimmick. I mean, how has your... I mean, obviously we've seen it on CWF in the last year, how the mask and the ring gear has evolved. What was your first mask like, if you could kind of describe it to us? Was it along the same vein?
It was purple, and right in the forehead, where I usually have a symbol, there was a Japanese symbol. It was half of, like, happiness, I believe. And it had the Superman symbol behind the Japanese symbol.
Nice.
And not the S, but just the outside of the Superman symbol, because Sean Christian does a lot with the Superman symbol. So pretty much putting that on my mask, because he trained me, you know what I'm saying? And it was purple. It had white eyes. It was very meshy. You really couldn't see through it. It was a very thick mask compared to my other ones are very breathable now. But my mouth has always been open. My hair has always been out of it. So it's kind of like my little baby. It's like my baby mask. I still have it. It's
nice.
Very tiny.
So you wrestled for ever since you were 13. You're 21 now. How did you find out about CWF? Did you find them or did they find you?
That's an interesting question. I believe I went down there one time with 3 other friends, and I was still very young at the time. So I went down there, kind of rode down with them, and 2 of my friends wrestled there in a tag match. And then I went in the back and talked to Brad and stuff, which I was very, very young. I was probably maybe like 16,
Jeez.
Maybe 17. I'm not quite sure. I was very young. And then it was about I probably was 16. It was about 2 years later, which I would have been like 17 or 18. That's when I actually started wrestling for them.
Man. See, I'm hearing this from you in this interview, and this is like I'm just sitting there thinking, armchair booking ways to expand your character right now. It's just crazy. Thank you so much for doing this. Because when I would never guess that you're 21. Don't take this the wrong way, but you show a ton of maturity in the ring. And it shows, like I said, you've been doing it a long time. Go watch their matches, people. You can definitely see that she's been doing this for quite a while. It really shows. How did you get paired up with Michael McAllister?
Well, that's when him and Mecca were together, and when I started working with CWF, I was just kind of sitting in the crowd for a few months, just sitting in the crowd and stuff, and Brad was trying to find a place really to put me because he wanted me to be a part of the show because of the character and stuff, and really that was the place that I fit, was with Mecca and McAllister. Because, he didn't have a lot of girls coming in to wrestle or anything, so I couldn't just be one of those random girls because he wanted me on the show every show. So the best thing to do was to stick me with them so I would be able to be a part of the show every show.
And when you first started with them, because obviously I've only been watching and coming to CWF shows for about 2 years now. So the first time I saw you was when you 3 were together and he was leading you out by a chain, and Sophia Moon in the chat room, Rage in the Machine. So I have to ask, did your outfit, the red and black with the red and black mask, did it start off that way, or was it your purple mask that you first started off with?
It was my purple. I was purple all the way, which I'm actually getting a purple mask here soon, going back to purple. And
wow.
But I actually started purple. I actually got red because they wore more red and black. So to be more of a team, red and black would fit more, which the red mask looks great and the outfits are amazing. So it turned out really good.
Somebody here I guess just got an email here. Somebody wants to know how much work goes into you designing your own masks. Where do you get them
A
made
lot.
at, and how much do they cost?
Designing the mask is a lot. At the beginning, me and Sean, my trainer, we had a kind of just a little sketch. We didn't really necessarily know. He drew up my first one. And I get them from a guy in El Paso, Texas. His name is Nick. He custom makes them for me and everything. He's making my purple one now. Yay. And they cost a lot of money. I usually get a pair of kick pads and that together, and it's usually about probably $300.
It's actually not too bad for wrestling gear.
No, I do come back a lot to him. So, but I actually get my outfit made from Boogie's wife, Angel.
Nice.
So.
I'll tell you that the kick pads alone, some places will cost you the $300. So you're getting lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
He's made a lot of money off of me.
That's the nature of the business. I got a question for you. Has your character always been the mysterious, no talking, or have you had a chance elsewhere to cut promos?
I've had a few opportunities to cut promos, but most of the time it's very mysterious and stuff. Since I did start young, it took me about 2 years to even get in the ring at a live event because I didn't want to embarrass myself or embarrass other people or anything like that. So I was very cautious about that. So I was still 2 years. I was only 15. You know what I'm saying? So talking was something I was very scared of at first. But it's always been the kind of mysterious character and stuff. Whenever I go to tryouts or seminars and stuff, I do get to talk there. And they're like, oh, well, I mean, she actually can talk a little bit. And I was like, yay. But it's always been kind of very mysterious. This is actually the most that I've talked within the whole character.
I got to be honest. I want to hear you talk more. I want to see you talk more. I hope they continue this, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. I want to talk a little bit about the build up to him and who him was, because that's when I started watching coming to CWF was right when that kind of first took shape. Whose idea was it for the him character? Can you shed a little bit of light on it? Because you and McAllister are really good together. I enjoy your guys' work together and the chemistry that you guys have together as a team. So the whole him thing, and then him ended up being Michael McAllister under a mask as well. How much of an influence was that from you guys, and how much was that from the CWF team? Because I'm kind of always curious to see when it comes to storylines like this, how much of it comes from the talent, how much of it comes from people like Grant Sawyer and Brad Stutz.
Well, him was actually supposed to be a person. The person wound up not coming. So we took the him character and evolved it kind of mentally into becoming Michael McAllister, meaning me kind of taking over the normal side of McAllister and bringing him to my dark world that I've created with the mask. The mask, when the mask comes off, he is normal, but when the mask is on, he is crazy and mine. So.
People should note they're hearing dogs in the background. This woman is a saint. I'm a big animal lover. She rescues dogs, so please bear with us here. I'm going to get a little personal here. How many dogs did you say you have barking right now?
I have about 12.
Jeez. You're a bigger person than I am, because I couldn't handle that many yapping at my feet. Jonathan Miller, hashtag, oh God, that's absolutely right. A couple of questions here in our chat room. Jason Weissman wants to know, you should mention that your first ever your tryout match for CWF was against Trevor Lee.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Okay.
My bad.
That's all right.
You zoned out for a second. Okay, now try it.
Okay, so somebody in our chat room, Jason Weissman, goes, there they go again.
Were you asking about my tryout match?
Yeah, Jason Weissman says that your first tryout match was against Trevor Lee.
Sorry, it seems like I'm losing you. It must be your signal.
Uh-oh, cell phone trouble strikes again.
Yeah. I've got good signal, I believe. Let me go outside. Maybe I'll be able to hear you.
I was going to say, it's probably the dogs.
Yeah, and I got to even try to remember my tryout match.
Well, Jason here says it was against Trevor Lee, right? Uh-oh.
Haha, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So again, your tryout match here, according to Jason Wishman, was against Trevor Lee. Can you talk to us a little bit about that match?
I was terrified. I was really, really young and terrified. That's pretty much all I can say.
I want to get back to you and Michael here. You guys joined Moneyball with Ethan Alexander Sharp for a little bit because the storyline was, folks, and it's a brilliant storyline. Because I honestly think that while it wasn't a quote-unquote main event storyline, it was probably one of the better storylines of that year that they produced. Was that Ethan was using his money and using you guys because he promised that he was going to use. He was using you guys for Moneyball because it was promised to you guys that he would help you find out where him was. What is it like working side by side and even against Ethan Alexander Sharp?
It's different.
Elaborate, please.
Oh, God. Working beside him is very different than working against him because obviously I've had multiple matches recently against him. But working beside him is not as bad as working against him just because beside him he might not talk as much smack. But against him he feels like he can talk a little bit more smack. You know what I'm saying? Like he just feels like, oh, well, we're against each other. I can talk a lot of smack about you kind of thing. And I usually beat him up, but that's just what happens.
Wrestling God here, and this gets into a little bit. You go through that storyline. Now you're working against him. I'll get to Wrestling God. Wrestling God in our chat room has a really good question. I'm going to get to that after this one here. Now you starting, the bit, you and them, you're no longer part of Moneyball. You guys have pretty much turned babyface because you're working against Ethan Alexander Sharp, who's a great heel in my opinion. And you guys are actually great baby faces. I think I like you guys more as a baby face than I do as a heel. That's just my personal opinion. Again, because you really can't. You can show personality like we were talking about before, but it's a lot easier to do, I think, when you're a baby face because it gets over easier. What's it like? We take it back to before Absolute Justice, Madness in Any Direction. You and Ethan Alexander Sharp are going to have an intergender match. Ethan comes out dressed up as Andy freaking Kaufman, which is brilliant, by the way. And you
very funny.
And you absolutely destroy him, which is even better.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You have the best damn German in the business right now, and that's including Brock Lesnar because it is more. It's more impactful for me, especially when you see it
might be
live.
my shortness.
There you go. You said it.
Short.
You said it, not me. But yeah, we'll go there. We'll go along with that. I want to ask you, what was it like working that kind of a match? Because that is so different for you to work that half comedy style with him. And again, more of your personality coming out there, with the, hey, baby cakes and all that. What was it like doing that match for you?
It was fun in a way. I guess in character perspective, my character was just not having all the flirty and the stuff like that. But it's kind of hard not to laugh with some of the things he says. Because it's like some of those things you just want to run up and just slap him right in the face. But and then you want to just sit and laugh because it's funny. So it's pretty fun, and it's different it's not different for me to work men. I've always worked men. It's more different for me to work a woman than a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't work women often. So, I mean, it was fun and kind of easy. So, entertaining.
What was it like putting that match? I mean, if you can let us go a little bit behind the curtain if you don't want to. Kayfabe it, I understand. What's it like putting a match like that together? I mean, obviously, like you said, you wrestle men, but when you wrestle men, it's way more serious. I mean, it's
yeah.
Honestly, it's like, okay, she's one of the boys, But with this, it was different. You had to show more emotion. You had to show more character. There was a lot of comedy in there, which we're not used to seeing from you. So what was it like having to was it kind of difficult to have to put a match like this together?
I feel like it wasn't very difficult for him, for Ethan. I was more of like, let's go out there and see what happens kind of thing. You know,
Right.
it's like, all right, let's do this, and just kind of run with it.
All right, Wrestling God on Twitter here. Given what has happened with you, Absolute Justice came. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to know spoilers for Absolute Justice, click off now. We thank you for listening. Check us out here in a few minutes when we do the review of tonight's episode 111. But spoiler alert here, folks. We're going to talk about Absolute Justice. You guys lost a fatal four-way match, and Michael McAllister had to lose the mask.
Yes.
So I know that you can't tell us exactly what's going to happen in future episodes, but are we seeing the end of this team here? Are we, because, Michael McAllister may be siding with David Cross now. Leaves you kind of out in the dark. Honestly, I didn't even know what had happened to you after the match. You kind of disappeared straight to the back and let McAllister do his thing. And yeah. I kind of felt from a creative standpoint, you needed to be there when he lost that mask. You needed to be there when he took it off because you two are such a partnership. You're for lack of a better term, you're an item. You can't really, you haven't seen one without the other for years now. So, what were your thoughts on him losing the mask? How was was this? I guess my question is, where do you think they're going to go with you now? Because I see this as a wide open opportunity to use you on your own, and give you more personality and give you a mic now, for God's sakes.
They haven't really told me any ideas on where for me to go. I have an idea kind of where I'm going to go, but all I know is I'm just going to be beating up people and doing what I do. So we haven't really talked about it yet.
Wrestling God, that brings me to the next thing here. Wrestling God wants to know, do you ever think you're going to lose your mask?
Oh, no. Never, ever.
Somebody said David Cross. Did I get that name right? I'll just call him Mr. Cross. Okay. He's rarely on the show, so I don't know his first name right offhand. Forgive me. You say never losing the mask. Does that mean if they ever came to you with that kind of proposition, you would totally turn it down?
Yes.
Why is that?
The mask is more of a second skin. I can wrestle without the mask, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The mask gives me more leeway to do what I want, to be more creative, to act more different than other women. You know what I'm saying? You take away the mask, you just have my normal face. And I'm sorry, but I'm not that scary looking normally. I'm not.
Grant, I'm sure you're not, and I have no shame in saying this. Yeah, thank you, Grant. It's William Cross. Sorry, folks. It's late. I've been working all day. I got to say this. Even without the mask, and I've said this on previous shows, I was like, I'm sure she's a beautiful woman. Maybe they should take it off of her. But I totally see your point that it's a part of you now. You can't really... I guess when you really think about it, I couldn't see you without it. Not that I don't want to, but it's just... You kill the mask, you kind of kill the character. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
If you have a question for Sis, feel free to pop it in our chat room, or you can tweet me at Joe Pillar to Post. If you want to use the hashtag CWF Aftershow, get us trending. We greatly appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We are here 10:30 Eastern each and every Wednesday night reviewing this night's episode, or that night's episode of CWF Worldwide. So I guess my question here, I mean, you kind of already answered this, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here with, what does the future hold for Sis? Now that they've pretty much taken... I guess they've taken McAllister away from you here. That's pretty evident. I mean, that's the impression that I get. But
right.
Are you... I guess, you said they haven't given you a direction. Are you kind of, worried about the direction that your character's going? Obviously, we don't want to see you just, no offense, but if this was WWE, you'd be tossed aside, and given rebuilt, and you don't need that. You need to shine on your own. So are you worried as to what's going to happen here to you?
A little, depending on what they want to do, but, the mask will never come off. The character will always be the same. They have nothing for me. I'll go elsewhere, but
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they're coming up with an idea, because they always have ideas, they always have this crazy idea ready to just pop right out. So I'm excited to see where they do want to take me or what they want to do. Maybe they might bring some women in and maybe I can wrestle some women and destroy them like I destroy men.
I'll be honest with you. I've been wanting to see that for ever since I started going. You had a women's match recently, I believe, with Priscilla Kelly, and it was refreshing to see that. As much as I like seeing you work men as well, it was refreshing to see an actual women's match on the card there at CWF in that arena.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what is your take on the whole? Because you wrestle men, you're one of the boys, as they say. What is your take on this general women's revolution going on, not just in WWE, but in professional wrestling as a whole? Because you've been doing it long before this even started. So what is your take on this kind of uprising that's been happening the last, specifically within the last 2 weeks, or even the last, few years? What's your take on it?
I mean, I don't really, I've always been this way, and like everyone's like trying to be kind of more hardcore now. Like women are actually going to be good wrestlers now and stuff. I've always been a decent wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have much to say about it. Like, I think it's a good thing. I don't find it bad that women are doing that now. I mean, I honestly think it's a good thing. I've always been this way. You know what I'm saying? I haven't changed, So, I mean, for other women that were mainly about looks, I guess, and less, wrestling, I guess, going to more wrestling like the way I feel like it's supposed to be, the way I am. I mean, I find it a good thing.
Because I'll be honest with you. I look at what the women's revolution thing and even just all women's promotions, they're not working how you are. You take it to a whole nother level. I mean, I would love to see you and LuFisto. LuFisto is one of my favorite female wrestlers. I would love to see you two go at it. But in my opinion, I just can't, Wrestling God here in our chat room goes, would you love to have a women's division in CWF? To me, you're above that. I mean, it's just the way I see your character, the way I see your work. But I'll go ahead and ask his question. Would you like for there to be a women's division in CWF? And I guess a part B to that would be, do you think there is room for a women's division in CWF?
Well, CWF is taken over by men. But I mean, it's always good to have some women there, even if they're not there every show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm usually there every show. It'd be nice to, I guess, have maybe someone to have a feud with, or one or two other women kind of come in there. Because, they can always put me with men and let the other girls go at it. And, there's always endless possibilities if you bring in a few more women. You know what I'm saying? Bring in a woman bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Bring in people smaller than me. Bring someone my size. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's kind of like, I want the competition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need the competition. I feel like it wouldn't be bad to bring women in there, but is there room for women in CWF? I mean, I would like to say yes.
I got to be honest with you. There are a couple matches, like, I hate to bring this out, but Grant, we love you. We're going to say it. Grant thought tonight's episode, even when I talked to him last Saturday, he said this coming up episode is filler. And I feel like there are a couple segments where we need women on this show instead of what we're getting. It's just my opinion. And I feel like they should, definitely let you be a part of that. I'm going to ask here something that just popped into my email here. Do you hate a lot of people? They see women wrestling men, they automatically think of China. Do you hate that comparison?
Not necessarily. I don't hate it. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was one to wrestle men. Like, I'm completely okay with that. Like, even if they compare me to her, I'm not. I'm different. I wrestle men like she did, but I feel like I'm at my place now where I am my own creation, and that I cannot be compared to anybody else.
No way. You're definitely in a league of your own, girl. Let me tell you that right now. And I've been preaching it on the show for weeks. If people want to compare her to China, she's better. 10 times better. And that's not me saying it, marking out because she's here with me on the line, folks. Go back and listen to old episodes of the show. I've been saying it for weeks, if not the last month, since we started doing this. Jonathan Miller here. Classic question for any wrestling interview. Favorite wrestlers and favorite match of all time?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Oh, God. We got to know God at assist. That's enough for make me mark out right there.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Probably Muda, as one of my favorite wrestlers. If I can't pick myself. I would definitely do Muda, and pretty much any match he had really would be a favorite for mine because very entertaining for me as like a mask character and stuff, and going more towards the route of being creepy and mysterious and acting different.
Yeah.
I think Muda would be my favorite wrestler in pretty much any match that he has done.
In regards to favorite, so any match that he's ever done basically is for your favorite
Pretty
match
much.
of all time.
Yes.
I'll agree with that. Muda was awesome. You mentioned Japan. You mentioned you're a big fan of Japan. There's a Japan revolution happening. We got so many revolutions happening in wrestling, folks.
Yeah.
I would love to ask you, have you ever been to Japan? And if not, ever plan on going to Japan?
I'd like to go to Japan. I've never been to Japan. If someone out there, sees me and is interested, I would totally jump on it and go.
I think the character's perfect for it. You could definitely see the influences there. Sophia Moon in the chat room goes, she would love to see you use the mist. I think that would be great. I don't think you need it, but I think it's great.
I've used it multiple times, just not at CWF.
Oh, man, we got to bring that in there. Come on, Grant and Stutz, book that, please.
You tell them that. I have mentioned it before.
Man, I want to see that.
I would like to at least just use it in the entrance, at least.
Yes. Guys,
but
oh man, that right there.
You let them hear that.
Grant, Stutz, book it, please. Sophia wants to know, didn't you have a tryout for I'm pronouncing this wrong, Joshi promotion? Joshi?
No, I had a tryout for Ring of Honor, and
Really?
it was paired up with Stardom in Japan.
Who did you wrestle on that tryout?
I kind of wrestled about 3 different women. They liked me, and I have like all their contact information and stuff. It's just I have to kind of travel there and kind of hang out at the shows and get to know everybody. And pretty much whenever they have a position, they would slide me in. So it went very, very good.
Is this back when Gabe was booking, or was this under the Sinclair era?
I believe it was like maybe 2 months ago.
Really?
Or 3 months ago. Yeah, it was very recent.
Wow, I did not know about this. Wow.
Yes, it was very recent.
Were those matches taped or anything like that? Yeah, I would love to. I know it's a tryout
they
match,
were
but geez.
video chatted to Japan. Like the guy that runs the Stardom, he was on like webcam. That was it. It was not. It was not recorded or anything.
So there's a hope that we may see you over there then.
Right. Yes. Yes, there is.
I think we got to leave it there, folks. Sis, I want to thank you very much for coming on. I want to thank you very much for being so open and honest with us. Take care of those dogs, and you have a good evening, okay?
And you too.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Sis, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get Jeff Edwards on now. Let me see if we can go ahead and tell him it's safe for him to come on now that we're in the spoiler-free zone, folks. We're in the spoiler-free zone. Let me see here. I did text him. But then I looked and the text didn't go through, so I'm probably going to get yelled at about that. But oh well, that's what happens when you do the show in a place where there's no cell phone signal. We'd like to thank again very much Sis for coming on. Guys, I got to be honest with you, man. I did not expect her to be that open. I did not expect that. And it's probably one of the best interviews I've ever done, and I'm so glad we got to share that live with you. Thank you guys so much in the chat room for your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, we are here every single Wednesday night live at about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Jeff Edwards is calling in right now. Hollywood.
Why? How's it going?
Dude, I texted you, and then I looked down at the phone, and I saw text not delivered. I'm sorry. So that's why it didn't come through until probably like right now. So
yeah, they came in together.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man.
How was Sis? How's Sis?
Dude, brilliant.
Good.
Way open, way better than the Gail Kim interview of 05. Which that is no longer in existence, folks. Because yes, Joe used to interview TNA stars before they stopped letting me call the office. So Joe White's calling again. Oh, but no.
Oh God.
We even got an oh God out of Sis tonight, dude. You got to go back and watch and listen to this interview.
Oh, I
after
will.
It's posted,
I will.
Man.
No doubt.
Mr. No Spoiler Edwards over there.
Hey, listen, I can't have the spoilers. The fan in me won't allow it.
They don't like the spoilers in Hollywood.
No, no,
So,
we do not like our spoilers.
let's get into it. Episode 111, man. It was.
Wait. Before we get into
Oh,
it, tell me some highlights. What did I miss from Sis?
That the mask is a big Japanese influence,
Mm.
and that she recently had a Stardom/Ring of Honor tryout match. That's all I'm gonna say.
Really?
Dude, one of the greatest interviews I've ever done. One of the most real interviews I've ever done, given the character and everything. So.
Awesome.
Wish you could have been there, man. Wish you could have been there.
I wish I could have been there.
So let me tell you
These
something.
damn spoilers. Go ahead.
So this was kind of my fault why Jeff is just now joining us on this episode, folks, because I asked Sis. Here's the thing, and I should have mentioned this to her. I asked Sis to do the interview, totally expecting her to shoot me the fuck down. I mean, I totally expected her to go, "Are you kidding me? It would ruin my character," you know, and I would totally respect that if that's what she said, because. I mean, and it's like we got what I wanted plus times 10. It was beautiful. So thank you very much,
good.
Sis, for coming on. Could you believe she's only 21 years old?
Oh my!
And been wrestling since she was 13. Trained up in Jimmy Valiant's camp up in Virginia, where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's dude. She's been doing this longer than most people in CWF have.
Wow.
So, go back and listen to it, Edwards. You won't be disappointed. It was a damn good interview. Okay. So, anything else before we get into episode 111 here?
Just for the record, in my opinion, if Sis is getting tryouts in Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground needs to call her. Tell me her character would not fit.
That character would fit
show.
there, but honestly, I don't want to see her there.
No, that's because you don't like.
I'd rather
Lucha.
see her in Ring of Honor because it's. I think they would gimmick it up too much down there in Lucha. I really do.
Oh, they definitely. Oh, dude, they would take it to the next level.
They would take. No, I don't think it badly to the next level. I think it's perfect just like it is.
How often would you see her in Ring of Honor if she was in Ring of Honor?
You would see her probably in the Women of Honor thing. But the thing is, she was doing Stardom too, which I believe is the Japanese women's promotion.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they don't really. I don't think they show that on New Japan World. So.
No.
Anyway. But anyway,
stay tuned.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason why Jeff didn't join us for that is because I booked her, and then people on Twitter was like, "Can we ask her about Absolute Justice? Can we ask her about what's going on so far with beyond the YouTube stuff?" And I did not think, my stupid ass did not think that. Damn, Jeff doesn't want to be spoiled. And when Jeff says he don't want to be spoiled, folks, that means he does not want to be spoiled. So from this moment on, we are not going to talk about any spoilers. Jeff, do you have the chat room in case people start chatting amongst themselves about spoilers?
No, I have.
So
no,
Jeff
I'm
is
off.
not in the chat room. So if you want to talk about spoilers there, this is what this is. It's for the community to come together and chat about it afterwards. Yes, you could do it on Twitter, but Twitter's not the same to me as a chat room. Chat rooms are very old school. Everybody's in one meeting place.
You gotta love a chat room.
So for the people that are there, thank you for joining us tonight. Feel free to go ahead and chat amongst yourselves about the episode. But from here on out, on the airwise, spoiler-free zone. So let's get into it. Episode 111 was the end of Madness in Any Direction. And Grant said it was filler. And
yes, I kind of agree, yes.
What is that in the background, Edwards?
That is my ringtone.
Oh, man.
That was AC. Shout out AC. What's up?
What's up, AC?
What's up, AC?
Anyway, you can
I owe everybody a coffee. Sorry. Good.
You can check out AC. As well as Jeff's show, Blading for Truth, and AC's Cool Down with AC. Some of it's on YouTube, but a lot of it's on our Spreaker and iTunes page, so head on over there and check those out as well. I got to tell you here, man, the opening match to this, Sandwich Squad versus Culture, which is James Ryan and Cam Coulter. Is it Coulter or Carter? I can't read my own writing.
Carter,
thank you. As I said, folks, it's been a long day. The shoot job got to me tonight, Edwards. That's all I'm going to say, man.
Those hotels, man.
Those hotels, booking. Yeah. But anyway.
You're a booker, White.
I'm a booker.
Your fantasy come true. You finally made it.
I never thought of it like that. So we had the Sandwich Squad versus Culture here. With Brad Stutz and Smith Garrett on commentary, this was pretty much a squash.
Yes.
I liked it. It gave a little bit of attitude to the Sandwich Squad, but it was a squash. It was very short, very sweet. It got the point over. It got the Sandwich Squad more over, even after the loss. This is how you book a babyface tag team after a goddamn loss, fellas. Vince, I know you're not listening, Vince, but please, somebody send a pigeon up to Stamford, Connecticut with a note on it with the link, just a link to this episode. And we'll see, where it goes from there.
So, somebody send it back with Logan Easton LaRoe, because he's from Stanford.
Yes, we'll get into that here.
Yes.
Sophia Moon match did a good job of showing the frustration of the Sandwich Squad having lost their titles. Yep, that's what we're. I mean, I really didn't write much here. Grant goes, obviously not meant as a knock on the guys this week's episode. I liked it a lot, but as well as it was filler in the sense that it's several cold matches before the Trevor Elgin and Absolute Justice airs. I want to say there hasn't really been a whole lot of build up to Trevor and Elgin, but I'm looking forward to seeing it because I wasn't there.
That's not their responsibility.
No, that's Modern Vintages. But if they're going to show it on their YouTube channel, it kind of is.
Well, they gave you a teaser at the end there,
if you want to call it that. But anyway,
White, come on, Grant can't do everything, man.
I know,
Jeez.
but man, my hatred for Trevor Lee is growing. Sadly. My hatred for guy, I've been singing his praises on this network for 2 years, and now just when people start paying attention to words and statements that are coming from this network, I'm healing on the guy, and I can't help it because he's been acting like an asshole lately.
I love it.
So, it was very good. Lots of aggression shown here by the Sandwich Squad. Nice, good spring kicks with Biggs getting caught with it. I liked the match. It did what it needed to do. It set the Sandwich Squad up as, hey, we're not going away. We're not breaking up. We're back. We're hungrier. See what it did there? Hungrier than ever, and we want our damn titles back. That's the message here, and it got broadcast beautifully. Jeff, what were your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, line of the night, no doubt. And I'm not going to be able to do Stutzy justice, but I'm going to try.
Oh, God, I can do it. You want me to do it?
Do it.
Oh, God. Now that I say I'm going to do Hero Sandwich! Jesus Christ!
Definitely line of the night.
We didn't get an oh, God, but that was close enough.
Oh, that was beyond.
I think Stutzy's going to heal us now that the oh, God and oh, shit are getting over. We're not going to hear it anymore. You watch.
He could do that all he wants, but everything he says like that is going to get over, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, and as long as it ain't, I don't mind. Jesus Christ! But that's where it loses me. Use your words, sir.
Nah, I love it all. Stutz is perfect in my eyes.
AC goes big. Michael Elgin and Omega open the G1 show this Saturday. Hey, I'm gonna be watching that show live, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna have it streaming right now. I mean, I'll probably be working, but I'm definitely gonna DVR it and watch it later. It won't be the same, but I'm looking.
Yeah, not to get off topic, but that should probably be a post show for that.
If you want to do one, I'm open to it. Or you?
Three of us.
Yeah, I mean, it may be a little bit delayed, but yeah.
That's fine. Couple things here, White. James Ryan, the new big sexy. I wouldn't go there. But he does have nice size. Very odd, intriguing look to him because he's skinny as a rail. Mm-hmm. Interesting. But decent match. The booking of the match, like you said, coming off the loss, keeping them strong in what would appear to be a squash match, is how you book a babyface team coming off a loss, losing their belts. And, of course, they furthered it with the Dawsons coming out to interrupt the post-interview.
Yep, Dawson's came out, CL parties in the ring. It's always a party when the CL's on your screen. Looking very, very nice in this one, and I believe this is a shoot when Mecca was like, we are 808 pounds of mass destruction. Just that one line right there, man, is enough to go, okay, you don't want to fuck with these guys.
Yeah.
Dawson's appear afterwards, and we had the reappearance of the Junior Bucks. The Junior Bucks helping keep these guys apart.
I did notice the Junior Bucks.
The Junior Bucks were there. AC's going to be like, what the hell? Go back and watch it. And the only other thing I notice here, and this is me putting myself over, I'm on camera a lot in this episode, sadly. my son is sitting right next between me and my girlfriend, or actually he's sitting like a level below on the bleachers. And my son was holding court because he had an iPad. And he's playing video games, and there's like 4 kids gathered around my son watching him play a video game while this match is going on.
White.
I know, right? But hey, it keeps him quiet, and it keeps him, that's parenting, folks. Father of the year right here.
Yeah.
Um,
You're something of the year, White.
yeah. Oh God.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Then we had the Lucas Calhoun, that old juke joint, versus he teamed up with the Proletariat Boar of Moldova, 2 Shakara guys here, or as AC, he's daddy cool. Well, the Boar is pig daddy cool,
Yeah.
and he showed it in this match. And they were taking on the Dawson brothers. Your thoughts on this one?
Geez, Joe, this was a dead crowd.
You had it was hotter than shit in that building that night.
Well, White, I was dead watching this too.
Oh.
Sorry. And I said it last week.
You did.
Lucas Calhoun, no, just stop with the honky tonk. You cannot beat the honky tonk man circa 86 to 90. So stop trying.
Well, what did you think of the Proletariat Boar of Moldova?
I thought he was decent. I'm not sure what the Proletariat Boar of Moldova is, and nor do I care, to be honest.
Ooh.
After seeing these 2 guys, I have zero interest in Shakara or anything that they have.
Wow.
Like, if this was a representation of, and again, I'm someone that, I know they have an ant family and the whole bit. I have no interest in it. I'm sorry.
By the way,
after seeing these 2.
Jeff Edwards would like for you all to go get your tickets now, because Shakara is going to be at the CWF Sportatorium.
Yeah, go get those tickets, people. It's going to be a great one.
So, Sophia, it's not showing up in the chat room that I use because I'm not on YouTube. I use a chat client. So whatever symbols you're typing there, they look like pig ears or something flying. But anyway, Shakara, Saturday, July 8th, so a week from Saturday. Get your tickets now at ShakaraTix, TIX.com. They're going to be presenting Parting of the Ways and The Lodger. It's a double shot there. One show at 2 p.m. and a 2 p.m. matinee and also a 7 p.m. card. No doubt. That old juke joint and the Proletariat Boar of Moldova will be there. So my thoughts on this one, I liked it a lot more than you did, because I'm used to seeing, this is my first time seeing Calhoun, or was my first time seeing Calhoun, but it was not my first time seeing the Boar. And I like the Boar, Boar is war. Boar is war. I like that. I like how the Dawsons looked at Robbie Walsh and asked if he was the one responsible for booking this.
Yeah, that was decent.
Calhoun's karate at the beginning. Honky Tonk never busted out the karate, my friend.
Oh, yes, he did.
And, but Robbie even got a crane kick in there. And Zane no-sales it. Zane Dawson just absolutely no-sells the karate, which I thought was funny as hell.
Yeah, Zane Dawson was the star of the match for me.
And I like how Dave Dawson kind of felt up the boar mask and everything. Like, what the fuck is this? I liked it. And we got a mention from you got to give the commentary team props on this, because they were trying to sell it to you. They were trying to sell it to you, Jeff.
Yeah, they were.
Mentioning fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches. And I like the finish. I like the high-low by the Shakara team. And I liked, of course, Zane with that damn lariat, man. That clothesline from hell.
It's awesome.
That's what I wrote down here. Sophia Moon, Shakara shows are great and fun. I say that as someone to whom it's not my preferred style. Give me 1 second here. Some people.
Oh, you know what? I can translate that last comment she put in there.
What's that?
You want to hear it?
Oh Lord.
It says this. No, wait. Let me read it. This show was better before Edwards came on.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I actually missed you during the damn SIS interview, man. I liked the match. I liked it was an ECW-esque transition with the Sandwich Squad, and then it was like, okay, now we're coming out, but we got the titles. Our match is next. Look at the champs going up next. We're higher than you up on the card now because we're the champs. I liked it. I liked the flow of this show. It was actually pretty
Yeah, the
good.
seamless transition was that's always good.
Uh-huh. And then we had probably my favorite match of the show. One of my favorite matches of Madness in any direction. We had a promo from Logan Easton. Now, I said LaRue. It's actually LaRoe.
Yes.
Maybe it's the Cajun in me because my family is originally from Louisiana. R-O-U-X is pronounced Rue. So it's, and you had Lash LaRue.
Yes.
Maybe they're trying to get away with that, but I'll honor the gimmick. It's Logan Easton LaRoe cutting a damn good promo here. Jeff, what were your thoughts on this?
I thought it was decent, but I don't believe him.
Whoa.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm down on this one. Down on this episode. I don't believe him. I don't believe he believes he's EC3 or whatever he's trying to do there.
The champion of the 1%. And I actually had to look this up here. He said the gentrification, using big words, not a good thing to use with a crowd like that. So it's probably good that the crowd didn't see the promo because I honestly didn't know how to spell gentrification. I had to look it up. So thank you, Logan. You want to know what gentrification means?
Where does this guy work normally?
Normally he's with like Nova,
Okay.
Nova Pro, places up north. This is the first time I ever saw him live. I know that he had a match with, this is kind of like an ongoing feud there with them, with him and Chet. But gentrification. And this fits the gimmick. Do you know what gentrification means?
Hit us with it, White. Hit us.
It is the process of renovation of deteriorated urban neighborhoods by means of the influx of more affluent residents. So it's basically taking urban neighborhoods and white people taking them over. It fits the damn gimmick.
You went with the racial. I'm sure Logan didn't mean to.
Oh, come on. He so meant that. It's the character, man.
Oh, White.
As Russo, your boy Russo said, hey, bro, we're building characters. So there you go.
Greatest booker ever.
Oh, man.
Admit it.
You're batting 1,000 tonight, Edwards. I like the preppy, rich aspect of this character. I like his look. He's got a damn
White.
good
Are there
body.
poor white people? I'm pretty sure we're poor at this stage.
Well, we're not making any money off this yet.
I mean, if Logan Easton LaRoe bought a house on my road out here in the middle of nowhere, chances are my house would probably gain more value from him moving in down the road.
Gentrification.
There it is.
You just did the old gimmick justice, man. That's great. The Smith Garrett promo, after this.
This is what you were asking for, White. You said the build with him and Osiris is not really. You haven't seen it in a while, so here's a bit of it.
Well, here's what kills me. This show, and this is the problem with their shows airing this out of order, and I'm glad we're going to get caught up in 3 weeks. I wanted to see it, and then I remembered this promo. And I remembered that it's just, man. He's the winner of the 2015 Rumble, for crying out loud, the CWF Rumble.
Mm.
And I didn't like the promo. I don't like the promo. They didn't like the build.
Mm-hmm.
Again, spoiler-free zone, so I'm not going to say what they're doing here, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Your thoughts on this?
I thought it was okay. I mean, unless there's something about this guy's gimmick that I don't know yet.
I've been watching this for 2 years, and I don't know the guy's gimmick. I don't know the guy's character.
Well, if you can't help me there, then
he comes out. He's a bald guy. He's playing to the crowd. He's a white meat fucking to the bone baby face, and I don't like white meat baby faces.
Right.
So, I just no. And again, folks, when we say this, I go to the show, so it's no offense against these workers themselves. Everybody busts their ass on a damn CWF show, including Smith Garrett, but I just don't like. I see him. If I was to do a Bruce Pritchard, Paul Heyman impression, I'm going to do it. I see him as a heel, sir. So that's just. He needs something. He needs something, whether it's a hot woman next to him, whether it's a damn new gimmick altogether. And Smith has had a tough time. There was, he had a nice concussion a while back. That was the storyline about a year back, was that he had a concussion and they thought he may never return to the ring again. And then he ended up coming back and winning the Rumble. And yeah, I don't like what he does with his tongue. I don't like the Gibson Bill afterwards. It's like, dude, we already know where they're at.
No,
I know
pop.
you're trying to pop the... Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in this promotion, to me, they're above it.
Right.
Just like you heard and people heard with Sis, talking about her evolution of her character. They're above it, man. They're way, way above what this guy does. And again, part of me has to wonder how much of this is the booking, how much of this is Smith, because I guarantee you what they're putting down on paper, he needs something, man. That's all I'm going to say, folks. And they no spoilers, but I'm just going to say, if you base it off of this episode, he needs something. And it ain't what they're giving you here.
Well, I'll say this, White. What saved the spot for me, and I don't know if you caught it, but it was off mic. So it was picked up on the camera. Like you always hear the,
right.
Okay. Did you hear it?
I didn't. Fill me in.
Smith Garrett dropped the line about dating girls who are a lot younger.
Yeah.
And you can hear in the crowd from the back of the room, my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I did hear that. I didn't write it down because I was like, that can't be a Stutzy, oh, God. But anyway.
See, I wasn't sure because they weren't, maybe Grant can answer this, but the audio track, it didn't seem like the announcers were plugged in there at that, during this promo. So I don't know if it was actually him off mic or if it was one of the fans. I thought maybe it was you because it sounded like him.
No, because the oh God thing hasn't picked up here. Wrestling God wants to know, Jeff, why don't you come to CWF shows?
Why don't I come?
Because he's all the way in Pennsylvania, folks.
Yeah, but so is Johnny P.
Ooh.
I can't even use that as an example, as an excuse.
Battlecade's coming.
Battlecade is coming.
Battlecade's coming. So
I do love CWF Wrestling God. I'm enjoying watching it. Battlecade's coming.
So, we then
knock on wood for a mild December.
I love
with the weather.
Yes. Grant says generally don't use commentators during promos. I'm not saying they need to use commentators, but it's just.
No, he's answering my
okay.
off mic.
Gotcha.
My God.
Okay.
Oh God.
Speaking of Johnny P.
Yes.
Cut together a damn good Kane Justice package.
Yes, it was.
After we had him on
very well done.
After we had him on last week and we got a damn good interview out of him, I felt like this just kind of gelled together. Go back and listen to that interview with Kane Justice if you'd like to. It's here in the archives at 1650 PWAM here on our YouTube channel. They had the music there, the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I dug this video package and the audio of going in and out of the commentary and then back to the music blaring.
Yep.
Beautiful. John Filipavich, folks. Johnny P is awesome. And I'm going to kayfabe this here because I was asked to. There's
easy,
yeah. There's all I can say is
he likes cameras and he likes CWF.
Cameras. He likes doing work with cameras. He did a documentary about ECW. Go watch it if you can find it. It's very good, and you can see that he likes to play with cameras and wrestling. Anyway, moving on.
And also, you can, in the archives, the audio archives, Apple Podcasts, 1650 PWAM, you can go back and listen to a 2-part interview of Johnny P and yourself.
That's right. More than 4 hours of audio. When me and Johnny P get together, folks, it's not just an hour long. No, it's got to be at least 2 or 3. So that's how.
Maybe you can, work your magic and get him on. Maybe he'll talk about his love for cameras and things.
He has agreed to do that. At a later
When
time.
he's ready?
When he's
Okay.
ready. When he's finished playing with the cameras.
Right.
You know how it is, Hollywood.
You're not telling me anything.
I love you. I love Jeff Edwards, folks. That's awesome. Hollywood is great. When I grow up, I want to be like Hollywood Jeff. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you have some work to do, White.
Oh, I know.
Just be honest. You know.
But the reason why we're not going to have any more interviews on right now is because we messed up with the SIS interview, and it should have been the whole SIS interview should have been done after Absolute Justice. So we will not have any more guests on until after Absolute Justice, till we're all caught up on the TV. Maybe we should get Grant on for Absolute Justice that evening. It's a little bit late, though. It's way too late. It may not be that late.
That's gonna be a late
it's too
one,
late.
right?
Yeah. So it may be late one. Maybe we'll move them on to the following week. But Absolute Justice, I forgot when I said that. It hit me right after it escaped my mouth that's a 2-hour show. We're lucky if we get anybody listening to us.
Yeah, I know.
Night, but we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Then we had Logan Easton LaRoe versus Chet Sterling for the Ultra J title. I liked the back and forth here. It was a damn good match. I like Logan's. I'm going to say this. The kid's got a great body. Dude's got a six-pack for crying out loud, man. I mean, it's what? What,
Nothing.
Edwards?
Continue.
Say it, Edwards. Go ahead.
I'd be more inclined to say CL Party and a nice body, but you continue.
Dude, you know what I meant. I'm analyzing wrestlers. Come on.
I'm in a mood tonight, White. Just keep going.
I see that and hear that. Anyway, I like the look of Logan Easton LaRoe. I like this match with him and Chet. I've been saying it for weeks now. Chet just never really impresses me.
What?
Never really. Dude, you and me have disagreed with this. But he showed me something this match. And I will say that this is the reason why you have to be at the Sportatorium, because the match was better live than it was here. Your thoughts on this one?
From what I've seen of Chet, this match, the two matches with Andrews, and speaking of CL Party, she on Twitter, what was it, last week? She sent the link to me of he and Cedric when Cedric super kicked her in the face.
Yes.
But that's a story for another day. But the match itself was awesome. So the more I see Chet Sterling, the more I'm thinking, yeah, this guy's legit, man. I don't know what your problem is.
He needs better ring gear. I don't like the music that he comes out to. I don't like the I'm different. And even Johnny P on Twitter tonight put, I thought we were behind the stupid, silly sunglasses. And here he came out with them here. Got to agree. Shout out to Johnny P on that one, man.
I take everything I said back about Johnny P.
Grant,
he knows nothing.
Grant Sawyer in the chat room here on 1650 says Chet is so crazy good. He's our Ricky Morton. Yes, I can see that. He's your utility. He's your utility guy. Whenever you need to pull out something decent, I'm not saying Chet's going out there and giving us a 5-finger stinker, but compared to other things we see, I don't know. I don't know.
He's our Ricky Morton. That's a great line.
And he does sell good, but it's just I don't get what's his character. He comes out there wearing a tie and a vest and cheap sunglasses, and I'm different. Yeah, it's over my head, folks. It may be me being a stupid Mark, but I don't know. Stupid Mark. Joe don't know nothing about Chet Sterling. Anyway.
Seems like the fans dig him.
Maybe he needs a headband.
Well, if everybody needs a headband, that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two,
headband.
If a wrestler wears a headband, like, I don't know, first thing that comes to mind, Matt Taven, say.
John Filipavich, shout out to Johnny P in the chat room. He's evolving. Think of him at Battlecade was best presentation, no ties, no vest, no glasses. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you, John, for listening. We got to get you on here when you stop playing with your cameras.
Yes. Yeah, we can talk about that, maybe.
Sophia, making the other guy look good no matter the guy's strengths or weaknesses is the most important and missing skill. Yes.
Wait, say that again?
She goes, making the other guy look good no matter the other guy's strengths or weaknesses is the most important and most missing skill. Yeah, but you got to get yourself over in the process. You know, Flair got other people over like a son of a gun and was damn good at getting somebody over. but he also got himself over in the process too. So, anyway.
Well, I like him white. So.
So I like the match here. I'm going to say Chet Sterling here showed me a lot in this match and showed me that he can turn it on and that he can deliver. You know, he showed me here that he's not just a utility guy. Not going to sit there and no spoilers, but he will show you in the future the same thing.
Question.
Sure.
Do you want to see Logan again?
Yes, absolutely. I want to see these two again.
Okay.
I want to see these two again.
I agree.
I want to see Logan. Honestly, I want to see Logan take on SIS, but that's just a.
Ooh, wait. Time out. I'd like to see Logan hook up with Ethan Alexander Sharp.
Yeah, I could see him and Dr. Daniels joining up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And joining the whole Moneyball thing, but does that cheapen LaRoe and LaRoe's work? Because I'm telling you guys, if you did not see this match live, he is way better live than this YouTube thing doesn't do him justice here. And I love the YouTube show, but there's some matches that come off better live, and there's some matches that come off better on YouTube. If you go back and listen to our past stuff that we've been doing for the last month, you'll hear me say that a lot back and forth. The Chet Logan rematch is a ladder match at the 7/14 Nova show for the Ultra J title. Sadly, though, I'm not going to be able to go up to Nova. And so unless this Nova stuff starts getting out there and getting released, I'm not going to see it. Wrestling God wants to know, is Johnny P coming back for the Rumble? I hope so. Johnny P, man, didn't get to see a whole lot of Johnny P because, anyway, I hope to see more of him at the next show he's had. Any more thoughts on this match here? I like the finish. The finish was damn good.
I thought it was pretty good overall. Both guys finished good. It was, I don't want to keep saying it's a filler show, and I'm using air quotes, but if we have to say it's a filler show because of the timing, it was a decent show and it was a good main event for a filler show.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely something that this show needed, and I'll be honest with you, my memory is crap most of the time. So when I clicked on the YouTube and I saw the match lineup in the description, I was like, yes, they're showing this match. I hope it comes out just as good as it did live. And
so when was this recorded?
This was Madness in Any Direction, so I want to say this was back in early June, late May.
2 months? Okay.
I want to say.
All right, that's what I thought, but I didn't read the description or anything. I'm sure it's in there.
Well, no, they don't. I don't think they're going to put when it was recorded, but I like the match, slow build. I like the fact that they pointed out that Chet had just had a match the night before that explained the black eye, and it adds to Chet's character. He's a working champion. He's a fighting champion. I like that.
Right.
May 20th is when they had that.
May 20th. Okay.
And I like the fact that, oh my God, he slipped on the ropes. There's sweat on those ropes, so that's why. I like when the commentating team made this show. The cravat by LaRoe was very nice, and that's the drop kick was eh.
You know what's funny about this show, White?
What's that?
Our show. Grant probably listens to, like you just said about the announcing.
And goes, stupid Mark.
No. Listen. The same thing with what's the guy's name there? Calhoun. Mm-hmm. The announcers are supposed to put the workers over, right?
Yeah.
And we always point that out. So Grant probably hears that and goes, "What is wrong with these guys? Like, this is what wrestling is." Mm-hmm. But we're so used to arguing about like WWE announcing and stuff like that. Like, we don't see this anymore. Like,
no.
This simple basic shit.
It's almost like monkeys using tools for the first time. We've almost had to, we're having to devolve and de-wean ourselves from McMahon.
It's true, yeah.
I mean, and some people, here's what millennial wrestling fans who are exposed to this shit right off the bat, like this whole revolution of Japan and the indie scene blowing up in the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. The common fan who's just now watching wrestling and getting into wrestling, that's all they've been exposed to. So naturally they see WWE and they go, oh my God, that's horrible. But, and even when they jump on the network and watch the Attitude Era, it's not gonna have the same effect on a new fan as it did us when we were there in the thick of it
Oh
watching.
yeah, totally.
You know?
I agree. Yep.
So
Totally.
forgive us if we sound like we're analyzing this like WWE, but it's kind of the point of the show is to analyze the show. So
Right.
match ended with a goddamn beautiful sunset flip. I liked it. I like the sunset flip. Very rarely do you see sunset flips winning matches anymore. You know.
Yeah,
so,
I liked. Did LaRoe have a nice drop kick? Was that him?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a very nice drop kick.
And he shoved I like him shoving the ref into the ropes. They played around with the referee a lot in this match, and I like that.
That was the other thing too. I like that the announcers said it's referee discretion.
And Sophia Moon here. I haven't watched a complete WWE show since the week after Mania. Guess what? You're not the only one. A million people are right along there with you.
Yep. So Sophia is one of those million that haven't been tuning in.
Trevor promo afterwards.
Yes.
Didn't like it.
Why?
Felt too basic.
Why do you hate Trevor Lee? I can't believe this.
He's been acting like an asshole, man. If we gotta go, no spoilers. And if we're keeping along continuity, he's an ass. He's been a heel the last month. So naturally, I'm going to boo the guy. Imagine that, a wrestling fan booing the heels and cheering the faces. Anyway, I just thought it was, I know they did a 45-minute show, so it wasn't like they couldn't fit a decent promo in, but it was Michael Elgin. It pretty much acted like you're having a match with the Sportatorium instead of me next week. Is the come into my building? It put the building over, and it put a reason why you have to be there over, Jeff. It was good in that respect, but it did nothing to make me want to see the match, except for us indie guys and us indie marks who were going, "Oh my fucking god, it's Michael Elgin. He's going to be in the Sportatorium. We got against Trevor." But the common fan, if I'm stumbling, if I'm a common wrestling fan or a guy who only watches WWE and I stumble across this on YouTube, who's Elgin? Half the people who come to that show, that arena, who are regular CWF fans, besides people like Sophia Moon and Johnny P, and I guarantee you half the people in that building don't know who Michael Elgin is. They know now because they probably went to the show, but it just comes back to that whole aspect of the CWF fans versus the internet fans, and that finding that balance between the two.
Well, what is the relationship with MVW and CWF?
What, Modern Vintage?
Yeah.
They're PWI, and Grant does a lot of camera work, and Stutzy does the "Oh God" commentary. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Trevor being on a CWF show to close, they're putting it over anyway. Just having Trevor do that, they're helping in that respect. So I mean, it's not like he can say, "Yeah, you're coming on Worldwide," because Elgin's not coming on Worldwide.
Sophia
so what
goes,
do you want?
Sophia Moon goes, "Trevor's definitely not a heel. He's just an asshole, but he's our asshole." But then, no, sorry.
Yes, Joe. I'm with Sophia on this.
But here's what kills me. When week in and week out, up until this whole feud with Nick Richards, week in and week out, he's the John Cena of CWF, and I hate making that comparison. I hate it. I do apologize if that offends you, but they've booked him in that way.
Yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, he's putting over Chip Day, who's not a CWF regular. They're hugging, dive, which we got to talk about that in a minute. Okay. After having this brutal match, they shake hands, they hug, they're teaming the very a month or so later. But a CWF regular, somebody who Trevor has, dare say, trained, knows better. He's got to be an asshole to this guy, but Johnny P, or not Johnny P, Joe Blow, sorry Johnny, Joe Blow, who walks in off of the such and such federation, he gets put over. He gets treated good. To me, that should heal the people there. They're the regulars. Hey, what's with you treating our homegrown guys like shit?
Boy, I don't know. I'm sure people aren't thinking, well, he trained Nick Richards, so he can't be a dick.
He trained Nick Richards. Come on. That's another thing about Nick. Nick doesn't wrestle anywhere else that I know of.
Joe, Trevor is listen, Trevor's the man. right? He's the CWF man. He's the number one. He's the top dog. It's his yard.
Yeah.
Come and take it.
And this is
That's
another
what he's
thing.
saying. He's telling everybody,
Sophia
come and
goes,
take it.
he's our champion.
See?
But they're not going to think that way when Impact finally signs him to an exclusive contract and he loses his ass.
Oh, they won't because his name isn't Matt Morgan or whatever.
Oh, come on, dude. Now you're burying Lee.
Oh, I'm not burying Lee. Jarrett's burying Lee.
Anyway, I love the fact that the crowd, guys in the chat room, that's what this show's all about. For you to debate this, I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about who's right or wrong. It's thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. So we need to talk about something here while we got Grant in our chat room. Any other thoughts on this show on episode 311?
No, it's actually 111.
111. 111. Sorry, 311.
3 1s and 1
311 was the name of a band. Anyway.
Yeah, not very good in my opinion, but
they had their moments.
Well, they had. Yeah. All right, let's get off that. All right, go.
What have you ever recorded, Edwards?
I don't got 311 money, believe me.
Oh no.
If I did, I wouldn't be here with you.
Edwards is on the verge of gentrification.
Yes, I am.
Last week, the show ended, and we're gonna talk about this. Me and you debated for about a half an hour on the ending of that last week's episode, and dare I say we had an influence here?
Dare I say you maybe had an influence?
Okay, say I was right, Jeff. Say I'm right, Jeff.
No, you and Grant are wrong.
Wow.
That's the issue there.
For those who don't know and for those who didn't see it, at the end of the Trevor Lee and Chip Day versus the All-Stars match, bell is rung, cut to Chip and Trevor in the ring, and they hug, and Trevor looks at the camera and goes, "That's right." Fuck. Basically says, "Fuck you, Dash Wilder, we're hugging." And
I think it was actually the other guy. What's his name?
Scott Dawson?
Scott Dawson.
One of the revival, okay? So he's a "fuck you, whatever, we're hugging." And Chip goes ... dive, which we've now found out on Twitter that Chip did not realize what Trevor had said. He was just adding his own 2 cents. And we debated about the fact that, yes, maybe that should not have been on the show. It had no place there. It doesn't do anything for the promotion. It doesn't do anything for the show. It has no place there. And you thought otherwise.
Mm.
And maybe, I even made the the entire thing was like the Mandela effect. Nothing happened, like Sinbad in the Genie movie. I like that, Grant. But anyway, so the thing is that that was in. So if you watch that episode up until about whenever they took it down, I want to say midnight, Eastern that night, you saw it. We debated it for a good half hour. It was a really good radio, folks. We encourage you to go back and listen to that. It's probably one of our best shows. So then we wake up the next morning and I get an alert on my phone because I get an alert every time they post a video. And I get an alert on my phone that they posted the new episode again. 110 has been posted again. I'm like...
Yeah, I was shocked to see that.
And I was like, what? And I didn't watch it because I was like, I've already watched it. Maybe I should go back and watch. So then I get on Twitter and I see the comments that the edit had been made. And they cut out the segment where, after the match, Trevor and Chip, for lack of a better term, go into business for themselves. And I'm sitting here gobsmacked because I'm sitting there going, oh my God. And oh God. And I look at my girlfriend and I'm sitting there going, did our little after show have something to do with this? And of course, Grant's probably going to no-sell it and say no. Say we're right, Grant. Anyway.
Say we're right.
Say we're right, Grant. But anyway, so Grant was in the room debating the same thing. And even Grant said in the chat room that night, maybe it shouldn't have been on.
Right.
So Grant was already leaning that way. And I was totally leaning that way because the whole ... dive thing and the Twitter feuds and the internet marks questioning it has no place on my CWF television show.
Here's a question, though.
Go ahead.
You want as many people watching it, correct?
That's not going to draw fans, though.
Now, wait, though. You could say controversy creates cash.
It drew fans.
But
It drew fans to us because once they took it down, people were wondering what was said.
I'm just, yeah. I mean, if
It was good.
like
for
I
us.
said last week when we were talking about it, if word got out and the guys like us, the internet, even worse than us, the Melvin Dasseys of the world, if they heard Trevor said something, boy, they might press play on that video just to see what he said.
Johnny P in the chat room goes, "Oh, they switched it. That's why I got the alert. Guess I got a collector's item. This all makes sense now. Smart call to clip it though." And then Grant goes, "Y'all reminded me first, and first is in capital letters. So thank you, Grant. That's why you need to listen to us every week, folks.
Controversy, White.
Hit that like
Could have
button.
created views.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It didn't create views for them. It created views for us." It created views for them because they were like, "Oh my God, what was cut?" But if you didn't see the episode when they first posted it that Wednesday, you never knew the difference. So,
see, I'm wondering if a guy like, I don't know, use AC for example.
Mm-hmm.
If we told him, hey, Trevor took a shot at Dawson, would he have went and watched the episode?
People like AC don't care.
But would that have made him care?
No.
And I'm just using him as an example.
But to the common fan, to the common WWE mark, the sensitive universe, if you will, oh my God, Trevor shot on Dawson.
Right.
But that, to me, and then they go and watch it, it's views for all the wrong reason. Yes, a view is a view, and they'll take it gladly because now they know about CWF, but the thing is, it's not going to stick. All they're going to see is they're not seeing CWF. I got to check this promotion out. They're seeing Trevor Lee from TNA was at an indie show and he shot all over WWE. That's the way the sensitive universe is going to see it. Sadly, sad but true. And
you're saying sensitive universe, and I think we have a little different meaning for that. Say internet fan.
Internet smark.
Internet smarks.
Johnny P hates the word smark, but we'll go there with it. AC goes, "The guy offends women daily," and I'm talking about someone calling someone Cena. Go back and listen to the interview tonight. I had an interview with a woman, a beautiful woman who could kick my ass. She's been wrestling since the age of 13, and I put her over every week on this goddamn show like gangbusters, bro.
Why, he's not wrong though. Say he's right.
He's kind of
You
right.
offend women on Twitter on a daily basis.
I pissed off one New Japan mark by calling her a Kenny Omega fangirl. Sue me.
Yeah, and then what happened? Her 1,000 friends started.
Her 1,000 pissed off hormonal friends came after me.
Oh.
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because you never know what you're going to hear on 1650 PWAM. We don't edit our content. Anyway. But I'm glad they edited it off the show. I'm really glad. Grant, for lack of a better thing, leaned in my direction, and it just didn't do anything for the promotion. And quite honestly, if you go watch that episode now, it flows better without it. It looks better without it. The episode tells a better story without it. It just did not need to be there. And yes, it's only 5 seconds worth of audio and video, and they're just chatting it up at the camera afterwards, the same way Brian Knobbs used to do at the end of every WCW match he had. But it's like, come on, and this is different to me. I'm a CWF fan now, and I'm sure Sophia would agree here because she shows they show up to every CWF show. CWF is like our baby, and we don't want to see it mistreated, and that was mistreating it.
Let me ask Grant something. Was it, if you're still here, Grant, if you can answer, was it your decision or did you?
Was it Stutz's? Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Like, did you take that to him and say, "Hey, do you want me to cut this?"
Should we bring Grant on?
If Grant would be wanting to come on,
and explain this a little better, he can definitely take contact.
No, I'd love to hear the explanation. Is the main reason why? Is it what you're saying, or does he agree? Did it just not fit? It's not CWF. You know what I mean?
It's not there. It's not. I don't know. AC goes, fucking book writer. Hashtag Melvin Dassey. Grant goes, "It was mine. I rarely ask anyone about edits."
Oh, cool. Okay.
Now, all I can tell, I want to thank Grant because the show flowed. I did go back after the Twitterverse blew up about it and the CWF community blew up about it. I had people asking me what was said, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you here. You're going to have to go listen to the after show, which it got us views last week, and along with the Kane Justice deal. So thank you, everybody who watched that. And again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're 1650 PWAM, Pro Wrestling and more. And we're going to give you Pro Wrestling and more here coming up. AC has a beautiful, beautiful podcast up about building up to the Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor boxing match. The match that UFC...
Very good show.
Yes,
Very good show.
And the match that UFC has now yanked an entire pay-per-view because of the build, because of, it being before it. Smart decision by UFC. But hear all about what the build-up is over there with AC. We have something up on on iTunes with Jeff blistering me in an argument about some guy in Evansville who's filing protective orders and versus some guy in Kentucky who can't wait for the guy in Indiana to die so he could piss on his grave. Maybe the entire wrestling business as a whole right now needs gentrification.
Maybe.
Anyway, but I just thought we would bring that up here since we got people listening tonight. It created a lot of controversy last week, and I just think, they made the right call. In the grand scheme of things, when it comes to the overall health of that promotion, they made the right call. So as a CWF fan, as a CWF loyalist, thank you. That's all I could say because it protects the promotion in the end. Anything else regarding CWF this week? I do want to get into some things on Twitter. They're not spoiler related, and it concerns the Weaver Cup. But anything else here before I move on to that?
Before you move on, would you like to do the modern vintage show and treat it just as, for next week? Treat it just like...
Let me ask Grant, is the modern vintage show going to be booked and billed as an episode of Worldwide? Is that going to be episode 112? If it is, we'll do it.
That's a good question. Yeah.
So I don't know. I have the same answer. I have the same question about the Scenic City shows that they're producing. Is that going to be a part of Worldwide? But while we're waiting on that answer.
Yes. Go to the Weaver Cup.
They announced the Opportunity Knox show is taking place. It's the start of the 14th annual Johnny Weaver Memorial Cup. Saturday, July 15th at the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium at 1001 Springwood Drive in Gibsonville. And next week is Worldwide 112. So it's canon. We are doing a show.
Okay. Yep.
It's treated like a normal Worldwide episode. Yeah, it takes place in the Sportatorium, so why wouldn't it be?
Right.
They announced this past Monday the first entrance into the Weaver Cup. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here so that we can get to it. And I'm going to run off some names. They're doing a weird thing here. Their version of the exact same matches will air on their show. So you're going to get it in two ways. I'm watching the CWF version, folks.
No, of course.
So they announced the first half of the entrance, the first 8 entrances, I believe. Unless Grant wants to be nice and let us do entrant number 9 here on the show tonight, but I doubt that's going to happen. Grant, if that can happen, Grant, it would be great. You can message me on Twitter and we'll announce it. If not, anyway. They're doing
it's not enough for you that he's actually here with us.
It's never enough, man.
It's never enough for you.
Is it ever enough for you, Hollywood?
I appreciate Grant being in the chat room every week.
Most definitely. And
that's priceless, man.
I thanked him for that. Grant said nope. Nope. Hey, more power to him. I think it would come out better that way, in all honesty. So they're doing this Opportunity Knox show something different. These are all new guys coming in. And I want to get your feelings on this because it's not spoilers. So I want to get your feelings on this here.
Right.
Basically, they're letting the crowd decide who comes back to the Sportatorium. So wrestler A from Australia is going to have a wrestler B from Japan. And the crowd gets to decide who was better as a performer and who comes back. And to me, that's kind of dangerous. It's kind of dangerous, but anyway. Because it's like, what kind of crowd are you going to get? Are you going to get the who's the heel, who's the babyface traditional wrestling in the Mid-Atlantic crowd, or are you going to get stupid marks like me? Because I would have a totally different opinion of analyzing a wrestling match than Grandpa sitting 4 rows over would, you know? But entrant number 1 in the 2017 Weaver Cup is coming to us from Australia, Jeff.
Australia.
Yes.
Kangaroos, white kangaroos.
And his name is Mick.
Big on the kangaroos down there.
His name is the Rapscallion, Mick Moretti. And you can follow him on Twitter at FullRapscallion.
I think they're called marsupials.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. They have pouches on them, whatnot.
And
the kangaroos.
The second entrant in the Johnny Weaver Memorial Cup here is from Japan. And I'm probably going to butcher this name, so please forgive me.
Try it.
Yudamaro comes out in a cat mask. Don't know much about this guy. And I believe, Hiroki Maruse. Oh, man, I suck at Japanese names tonight. But anyway.
Like tonight's like any different than any other night.
Hey, I can pronounce the Japanese names better than you some days. So anyway. And you got a New Japan hoodie on right now, probably.
It's not a lie. Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right. I can't argue.
Hiroki Marusei. I'm a white dude from the South. Forgive me. He's in the Weaver Cup. Glad to see Japan talent in the Weaver Cup. And then entrant number 3 is Jeff's favorite. He's on Twitter at that old juke joint. Lucas Calhoun is the third entrant into the Weaver Cup. Probably been my favorite entrant that they've announced so far here, man. He's on Twitter at Alex Daniels, AGD. Alex Daniels.
That's the guy of the first bunch.
That's right. That's right there. You want to talk about the first block, if you will? He's my pick.
Yes.
He's my pick. Entrant number 5. He's new to the Sportatorium, Mr. Steve Fierce. And he's on Twitter at AES. Oh, man, I'm not even going to try to. These Twitter handles, good Lord.
Wait, you can't read a Twitter handle? It's letters white.
He's on Twitter at AESTHE. I'm so far from my monitor right now. My eyes are heavy. TIC Steve? I don't know. This asynthetic
Aesthetic?
Steve? Aesthetic Steve?
Yeah, you're trying to spell aesthetic white.
Dude, I had to look up gentrification tonight. Give me a break. Steve Fierce is in the goddamn Weaver Cup, okay?
We'll call him Steve Fierce.
Steve Fierce. And he looks cool. I'm looking forward to seeing him. He was trained by Brian Kendrick. So there you go.
That's a plus.
Yes. Entrant number 6. We saw him tonight. And he's the champion of the 1%. He's from a gated community. Inside of a gated community. Surrounded. That's right, Edwards. You would know all about these. By a gated community. And
you got to have protection.
That's right, man. From all that gentrification.
Exactly.
Logan Easton LaRoe is number 6. Here's a guy that really, this one right here. Entrant number 7. In this picture, he's got this is a gimmick that's right up your alley, dude. Is that a La Parka mask he's holding up? Looks crazy. Aaron Epic. He's on Twitter at AaronEpic83. Follow him there. Apparently, Logan Easton LaRoe does not have a Twitter.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't have a Twitter. He should.
Huh.
Let me see here. We've seen all the VIP section go crazy for minor indie darling while the rest of the house sat on their hands. Yes, I have seen that. And that's the balance that I'm talking. That right there explains it best. You know, that's why I said the Chip Day Trevor Lee match when it very first started, and that's why they had to explain to you on the TV show why the crowd was quiet. You know, because the rest of the crowd there, the VIP section and myself, you know, we knew what we were about to get. The rest of that crowd was just like, "Who's this guy?" You know, we've seen him once, but what's he doing all of a sudden getting a title shot? You know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, entrant number 8. in the 2017 Johnny Weaver Memorial Cup Tournament is a guy who I've never seen before. Mr. Matt Nix. He's out of Chicago. He's a punk rock enthusiast, so he's already got your attention there. And
Let's see, punk rock, Chicago. Yeah, pretty good. Keep going.
And he's got a picture. His Twitter banner picture is a picture of Grimace from McDonald's, so you can't go wrong with there.
I like it.
I like it too. I'm not gonna. And this brings it. So those are your first 8 entrants. The tournament format, are all 8 names announced tonight are all going to see first round action on July 15th. 8 other competitors will meet in the first round bouts on the 29th. The 8 first round winners will face off in the quarterfinals on August the 12th. Those 4 quarterfinal winners will give us our semifinals on finals night, where one guy must win 2 matches to win it all.
I like it.
They're also at Opportunity Knocks. There's a fatal 4-way match. I don't know who these competitors are because they didn't list them here. Tracer X. I've heard of Tracer X before. You've heard of Tracer X before. You had to have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Carlos Gabriel, Garrison King, Rob Matter. Those 4 guys will face in a fatal 4-way match July 15th at Opportunity Knocks. Winner of that match gets to face, if he's still the champion, Chet Sterling for the Ultra J title. Looking forward to that. That right
cool.
there.
Okay.
And if you see these 4 guys, it's got Cruiserweight written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you get Tracer X in there. So, yeah. VIP seats are going fast. Get yours now at CWF247.com. That right there here, it says 9 through 16 will be announced Monday, and we'll all see action on July 29th at No Excuses. And that kind of brings me to my announcement here.
A big announcement.
Well, not big, but I had people asking me. We had another thing we have to mention.
Okay.
We had people coming up to me.
You.
I wish you were there, goddammit, because I called your ass right when I got out of the Sportatorium Saturday and made sure that I told you about this. I even said I fucking missed your ass that night. And that's not a damn kayfabe. That's a shoot. I wish you were there next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had people coming up to me, including Bruce Mitchell. Bruce goes, I've been covering this shit for 30 years. Well, he didn't say shit. He goes, I've been covering this for 30 years, and I got people coming up to me, putting you over and asking me if I've heard the after show.
That's funny.
So everybody who's listening and everybody who's coming up to me, thanking me and telling me that they enjoy it, the one person asked to be remained anonymous, asked to remain off the record, so his comments will be off the record. Kayfabe. Anyway. But I want to say thank you to each and every person that came up and said hi to me, every person that came up and asked where Jeff was and put Jeff over. Thank you so much. I will say that I've been podcasting myself for 12 years. I was podcasting before the word podcast was even invented. It was internet radio.
You were an internet radio darling.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Old school.
Old school. So I want to thank you guys. There's nothing better. I don't do this for money. I've never been paid a dime for this.
That's for sure.
Yeah. The most I ever got.
Especially on YouTube.
The most I've ever gotten for this was when I was with Rick Hendrickson. We were sponsored by a online beef jerky outlet, and we would get free beef jerky in the mail every now and then. So
that's not a bad deal.
It wasn't. The jerky was good too. But it lasted about 6 months, and that was it.
Nice.
They didn't send us any more jerky. We didn't run their ads on the show. But anyway, I've never gotten paid a dime to do this. I do this because I love it. In fact, like I said, I have a shoot job. The guy who came up to me and said hi even goes, "Yeah, you work for Hilton, right?" So yes, yeah, I'll agree with that. Tracer X is better fitted. I'll say this, and Sophia's right. When I say Tracer X, flippity floppity flippity flu. So that's what you're gonna get, and it fits the Ultra J motif.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been to a PWX show in 2 years. Sorry. I have my thoughts on that promotion that will not be shed here because it's about the promoter and everything, and I'd rather not go there. But I will tell you that I want to thank you guys so much for coming up and saying hi to us. Continue to follow us on Twitter. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. But it's going to be a while before you see me in the Sportatorium partially because of work and having to work on Saturdays. I actually called out sick from work to go to the show this past week. But because of me needing to work and make money, and because of B, wanting to be caught up with Jeff throughout the Weaver Cup, I probably will not be attending any of the Weaver Cup this year. And
That's silly, White.
it is silly, but I
You don't have
can.
to go that far.
Well, A, I can't afford it because I got to work, and B, it's more along the lines of me needing to keep my job and stop calling out every Saturday. You may see me for finals night if I get the. I love the fact that our chat room is abuzz with shit that, dude. I love the community, the CWF community. This is great. That's why we do it.
Yeah, Joe, one of the first things you told me about it was the community on Twitter and stuff, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome and unfortunately, I don't want to read anybody's tweets or the hashtags because I don't want to know what happened at Absolute Justice, but yeah, it's a pretty cool community.
But once Absolute Justice gets here, we're all caught up.
Yep.
I'm going to now have to stay away from spoilers, even though, CWF releases spoilers occasionally on their own. But I got to tell you, I enjoy going to those shows, and it's going to really, really pain me to have to stay away. But because of the fact that I have a job, I have a shoot job, this does not pay the bills. If you would like for Joe if you would like for YouTube to pay our bills, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and tell your friends about us. But as long as I have a shoot job where I'm working on Saturdays, I have to stay away for a little while. It's going to kill me. And I know that seems like, oh my God, Joe's going into business for himself and making it all about him.
Oh God.
Oh God. But I'm just telling you, somebody asked me this past Saturday, are you coming back? Are you coming to more shows? The answer is for probably until the Rumble or Finals night, no. And it sucks. I hate not being able to go to that building. I hate not being able to sit in the crowd. And I hate not seeing those guys like SIS. And again, we'd like to thank her for coming on tonight. Bust their ass and give us damn good shows. I can honestly say there have been up shows and there have been down shows. I'll put it to you this way. There have been shows that have been better than others. But that Sportatorium and those men and women who bust their ass for you each and every week, from the little young buck wannabes mopping the goddamn floors, to Stutz, to Grant, to all the workers in the back, to Randy, who made a flub on audio and announced the wrong winner of the dark match this week, but we still freaking love you. Just thank you guys so much for doing what you guys do. They've never put on a bad show, is what I'm getting at. Even when the episodes are filler here, they've put on good shows. They put on some that are better than others, but they've never put on a bad show. I've never had a bad thing to say about the product. Anything else to say, Jeff, before we get out of here? AC wants you to text him back.
Okay. No, everything you said, White, perfect. What else can I say?
The root beer bottle is dry, so that means it's time for us to leave. So we're going to hit the music. As Michaels would say, hit my music.
Hit the music.
Hit the music.
Or Rick Rude, whoever.
Rick Rude.
A lot of people hit the music.
Yeah.
White, turn the music on.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Anyway. It was good to meet you too, Wrestling God. Since he put it out there, I'll say it. Because he wanted to remain anonymous, but he just put it out there. It was Wrestling God that I met on Saturday. Thank you so much for coming up and say hi to me. Thank you to Bruce Mitchell, if he's listening to this, which I doubt, because he doesn't have to. Thank you, Bruce, for coming up and pseudo putting me over. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. We trash the dirt sheets all the time, but they make a living off of it. So they're doing something right.
Yeah. And thanks to Grant again for hanging out with us for this show again. So thanks.
Pause the music real quick. Little inside thing about Grant. Grant's had a tough drive today. We wanted to get Grant on tonight, but Grant's like, I'm coming back from D.C. with the family on a vacation, and I'm going to be tired as hell. So that shows you how much, thank you so much, Grant. Because honestly,
awesome.
the chat room's not the same without you, so thank you for being here. But anyway, we're going to hit the music one more time, folks. We'll see you at the Sportatorium.